Hey everybody, this is Josh Jackson from Paste Magazine. We're here at the Paste Studio in Austin, Texas, and this is a big night. We have Joseph Gordon-Levitt here for his project Hit Record, which is a band together with Logic. Is premiering tonight here in Austin, Texas. Congratulations!
Thank you. It feels really good to premiere here at South by.
And welcome, guys. You wanna introduce your crew here?
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna introduce you guys by your site names. This is how, even though I know you, this is Mary Beth, who goes by Kearney. This is Aria, who goes by Aria. This is Lamar, who goes by the ML Jones. Joshua Driscoll and Luciano, who goes by Brazil Jane Drums. These are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the contributors, of the 21 contributors that are on the song with Logic, that we all made together, that you can see come together on Band Together with Logic, which is this show we just made that's coming out today.
Yeah, and I got to see a preview, and it's so much fun. It's heartwarming to just see the love and everybody coming together and putting their own spin on a piece of music, and see the music change and the different ways that this one piece of music can present itself in so many ways with so many different creations. For you, what was it like seeing this all through the eyes of Logic? Like, you've done this project before. You've done these collaborations before. You know what it's like to see these things build up. But for somebody who's never done it before, and somebody on the scale of Logic, like, what was that like to see it through his eyes?
Sure, yes. I mean, the Hit Record community has been around for many, many years and grown gradually over those years, and we've done lots of collaborative projects. The idea is it's a place online where people don't just post things that they've created on their own, but they come together and create in collaboration. And we've made all kinds of things this way. We've made short films that played at festivals. We published books. We put out records. We made a TV show that won an Emmy. But this was the first time that a musician like Logic, this #1 selling platinum artist, we can get on stage at Madison Square Garden and announce the collaborations. The first time we're doing anything like this, and it's really meaningful to see how it's grown. And some of the folks here have been a part of the Hit Record community for a long time. Mary Beth has been with us for a long time. But then some folks came because of Logic. Like you three hadn't heard of Hit Record before Logic, and that's the kind of power that it brings. And I always love seeing kind of the old blood mixed with the new blood, and the experienced collaborators coming in and seeing how welcoming people can be. I'm curious to hear from you, like as someone who's been around the Hit Record community for a long time, what was it like seeing like new folks like these guys come in for this project?
Amazing. I feel like I've made so many new friends, and I mean, just being a part of this project, it's so momentous for the community, and it's great to represent the other girls who were there who couldn't be here today, who were part of the video, and just the rest of the community, because this is an amazing opportunity, and thank you for creating it for all of us.
And we should say, Mary Beth, that you bring these horns to this song that just really kind of helps make the song. So, have you been doing that as part of the community, just playing music for these people?
Yeah, my favorite thing about like Hit Record is contributing to other people's projects. So I usually don't start my own projects. I just like to see what other people have to offer and see if they kind of enjoy what my art is. But yeah, I play woodwinds, so saxes, clarinet, flute, and
That's great.
Thanks.
So Joseph, I mean, it's fun to see just the variety of people that you brought into this project. We have to talk about what Josh did, because this is fantastic. Yeah. So you don't play any instrument. You've never been trained on anything.
I played middle school band, like percussion.
There it is.
But I'm gonna be honest, I was not that great at it. And if I'm being honest, like I find a lot like that. If I could have just left it at that, because I didn't do band in high school and could have just quit doing music right then. But it was just the fact that I liked making my own music, like creating from scratch, rather than just playing something else someone else had made. And So I was just watching. What's funny is Logic's in-house producer Six. I was watching one of his interviews. He was breaking down, I think, the beat called "Yuck" off Bobby Tarantino 2, and something about that interview just made me want to just go do it. And so I've just been teaching myself through online, YouTube and stuff like that. And Yeah.
And you played on a $5 app on your phone.
Yeah, it was a beat called Oxy. I think I was like on Reddit or something, and someone recommended the app. Just said it was like a cool little app, so I picked it up, and yeah, it was fun to use. It was just a cool little app, and I just, as time went on, got better at using it and stuff, and yeah, and then I made my piano part.
Yeah, and it just kept rising up through the ranks and into the song. And
Well, what's funny, one of my favorite parts of the show is when Charlie Armour, who's like a classical composer, because Logic asked for like, I want something funky. I want funky horns, funky bass. Kearney provided the funky horns, but then, and some people like did what he asked, but then other people just like went off in their own direction. Charlie Armour was like, well, I don't really play funk, but I actually could do something really cool orchestrally with this. And he heard Josh's piano, and that's the whole point on Hit Record. It's not about just submitting your own thing. It's about remixing other people's and sort of collaborating that way. And he goes, when I heard Josh's piano, I was pretty certain that he was classically trained, and I loved his piece, and I incorporated it into my string section. And like, there you go.
That's amazing.
I didn't know he said that. That's like crazy.
Oh, that's in the show. You
like,
still haven't seen it.
That was like, yeah.
See it tonight.
That was no, yeah, that's just like 6 months of learning like how to make melodies online, just doing it every day, trial and error. To me, trial and error is the best way to learn anything. Like, because like you can watch a tutorial and someone be like, here's how you create chords, right? But you're not going to really get better at it until you just go and try and do it yourself.
See, I think that's important to note though, because your story is, I don't know how to play the piano. I used an app. But you didn't just use an app. You just said you practiced for 6 months.
Yeah.
Nothing of this ever just comes from like paying $5 and buying an app. Like, you don't sell yourself short. You did learn and practice.
Yeah, because I look online and I see people say like the amount of equipment you have, like you could have FL Studio or all that stuff. You could have as many microphones as you want, as many instruments. But at the end of the day, like you got to put the time in to get better at something. It's not for sure. The equipment doesn't make the artist. It's the work.
So I don't think this spoils anything because you kind of tease it up front that you're going to bring all these folks who helped you make this song to LA. You're going to fly them into LA, but it was a surprise for all of you guys that you're going to be doing like a music video. But tell me, I love the point in the show when you, Aria, hear yourself for the first time come on the song, hear your rap, all of a sudden come on, you're just out of your chair and going nuts.
Okay, so in a contradictory fashion, like I had like practiced with music and played different instruments and all this stuff, and I'm recording on my own like equipment, and so when I'm using it and I'm mastering stuff, it always sounds a different way to me. So I was always so curious, like how is it going to sound in the final version? And there's this like very looming ambiguity. We're all talking to each other. It's like 7 a.m. Everyone's tired, but everyone's just like alert off adrenaline. Like I'm talking to Lamar, and Lamar's like, "Yeah, man, I don't know what it's gonna sound like." And Josh's like, he like pulls out the app. This is what I used on. I don't know what they're gonna take from it.
Because they like heard the final song.
Yeah, so we didn't hear the final song. So when we all sit there, I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I don't know what they're gonna use in my verse. They could literally use an ad lib of me. Yeah, that's it. Like I literally did not know. And then when I hear my verse, I'm like, there's no way this is actually happening. Yeah. So the first thing that came into my mind, jump up. Like so that's how that experience was. No, it was so surreal. And we were talking just a little bit earlier, like I kind of like how there's this shroud of mystery with all of us. Like we don't know exactly everything of what's going to happen, but it's beautiful nonetheless because we're all together. So that it was, I don't even know. I'm going to jump up right now. Like I'm not very well. Goodness.
And Lamar, so what is this? You've got the premiere happening tonight in your state. Everybody
in my state.
All these people that you've met through this project are now here with you. What's it like having this homecoming in Texas?
Man, this is amazing. It was only a 4.5 hour ride for me. I know some people flew a few miles away to get here. So this was just cool to be able to just drive up and be here and just be in the moment. The most exciting part for me at this point is just not knowing what's going to happen still. Even when we went back and we shot everything back then, it was not knowing what's happening. And that's exciting for me. So I'm just excited to be here.
Yeah. So, Joseph, the name of the song and the theme of the song, Do What You Love. You've gotten a chance to do TV shows, some wonderful indie films, some big blockbuster films. You spent so much time and energy on Hit Record. This is what your passion that you've chosen. What is it that you love about this project that you've been doing now for quite some time?
I mean, a lot of it's just the people. I mean, and it's not often that we get to actually be in the same physical place together. So that's extra special. But I think, more and more of us are spending more and more of our time online. And honestly, there's probably upsides and downsides to that. We're nowadays, I think collectively as a world, starting to sit up and take notice of some of the downsides. But I'm still a firm believer that there's genuine and productive connectivity that can happen online. It depends on what your incentives are. If your incentive is, like on some places on the internet, the incentive is just get as much attention as you can. Get as much, even if that means knocking other people down. On Hit Record, we like to try to, make different incentives of what can we make together, not by knocking each other down, but by working in collaboration. And that's what this show is all about. That's what the place is all about. And that, it makes a feeling that I've come to really cherish in my life. And even though it's been hard and, sort of unexpected, and people are like, why are you spending all your time on doing this other thing when you could be doing this, that in Hollywood or whatever? But it doesn't feel the same to me. Hollywood's great, and I'm very, very grateful to get to have, participated in the Hollywood things that I've done and that I continue to do, but it doesn't feel the same as this.
Yeah,
and that feeling is just really special to me.
Yeah, I mean, watching it, you get this feeling, there's so many shows on the American Idol, the Pop Star, it's like every channel has their own version of this where it's like trying to be the star. This felt like the opposite of that in such a wonderful way. Like it has a little bit of the same, like it comes almost the same genre, that you've got people's stories and that you're exploring their talent and all this thing. But it's you in there. You say it's not a competition; it's a collaboration, and you feel that like you guys aren't competing against each other.
Not at all.
You're
Not
part
at
of
all.
this team.
Can I add something to that?
Yeah.
So I'm a professional musician, and my whole life is just like auditions and being competitive. Even if it's your friend that plays saxophone, it's not always fun. And I come to Hit Record because I can. It's not a competition, and it just feels good. Like Joe was saying, like I go on there to just truly create, and kind of feed my soul, and it's just such a beautiful place. So.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I think, the coolest part about it is just the fact that we met each other for the first time when we went to L.A. None of us had ever met, and by far, this definitely feels like a family now. I mean, we get together now, and it's like we've been knowing each other for years. And some of us have, through the internet, through the website, but to actually get the chance to meet somebody first time and feel like, hey, it's family, and there's no, like you said, no competition. It's just a great, great feeling. You can't describe it.
Luciano, you didn't get to talk, but we were talking earlier about in the van on the ride over some of that feeling that we're getting at here. Do you want to talk about what we were saying?
Well, I can harp on continuing about the feeling of it not being competitive. So my contribution was marching snare drum. Coming from a marching snare drum background, like drumline and all of that, it's all competitive. You're either competing against other drum lines, and even within the drum line, you're competing against the guy next to you to try to be better than him. So naturally, I don't have a competitive nature to me. I just love to play drums. I love rhythm. I've been playing drums since I was 4 years old.
So he's super good at it.
Thank you. So it's embedded in me. And I didn't find out about this project until Logic was involved. I didn't find out about Hit Record until Logic was involved. So when I joined and I made my contribution, I didn't expect anything because it's marching snare drum, and you have to make a song specifically with marching snare drum in mind, and even for that to become real. There's very few songs out there in the world with marching snare drum in it, right? Yeah. So I didn't expect anything out of it. On top of that, when I made my contribution, or I have a YouTube channel, so I upload videos, and I walk away because I don't want to look at the comments. I don't want to look at any of the criticism because I know it's going to come. So when I uploaded it to Hit Record, I walked away. But then when I was actually reached out to say, hey, look at what attention you're getting. And I was like, uh-oh. And I looked, and it was just all positive. And I was in shock because you do not get that on the internet at all nowadays.
Very true.
And that's all you get on Hit Record. So if you want to come to a place where you can make your art, whichever form it is, whether it's music, writing, animation, anything, and be in a safe world where you're not going to be critiqued, but you're going to be pushed forward and propelled up by the community from
Yeah.
real life people, that's the place to do it. That's the place to be.
How in the world did you create that? Or I know it's not just you, but create that, Joe. I mean, like a place on the internet where people are like not just collaborating, but encouraging each other of like you say, a safe space where it's not toxic. It's celebratory and people playing off each other. I mean, what's the secret sauce there?
I mean, the first thing I would say is I wouldn't say that I did that. When Hit Record started many, many years ago, it was something much smaller and much different than it is today. And then it's just been a slow evolution and sort of a feedback loop with the people that come. It's very much been a collaboration in itself of, at first it wasn't even collaborative. It was just a little website where I was putting up little videos and songs and stories and stuff of mine. And then my brother and I decided to put up a little message board. And we're like, we'll see if people are nice on the message board. And we noticed, okay, well, people on the message board, they're not just checking out what I'm making, they're making things together. That's cool. Let's try to lean into that. And slowly but surely it sort of evolved. And now we've come to here. But it was always sort of this evolution of a feedback loop with the people that were coming. And so it's very much as much due to these folks and all the, there's 700,000 registered users on Hit Record right now. And I very much credit them at least as much as me. And the other thing I want to mention is because there's a few folks here who are, not on camera, but the folks who work in the Hit Record office day in and day out who are like completely crucial and work their ass off all the time. And it's at least as much them as it is me as well.
All right. Well, by the time anybody sees or hears this will be available on YouTube, premiering tonight. So available as a YouTube original. It's about a 50-minute episode. Are you gonna do this with some other
that's what I want.
musicians?
I mean,
Are there more of these?
You put me on the spot. I didn't want to say that because you
Episode
never.
2 coming?
That's not our choice. We get to see it. But if people come and like it and they watch the whole thing through, tell your friends to come watch it. We'll get to do more of this.
Yeah,
that's what I want because Logic did it so amazingly, and I'm sure that if other artists would use the platform in really different ways, that I'd be fascinated to see.
Well, I watched the episode and then was telling all my friends, all the staff that's here. I was like, oh, this is so cool. So hopefully that'll be the response everybody has, and you get to do another one of these.
Yeah, I hope so.
But thank you guys so much for coming out
Thank
here
you
on
for
this
having us.
cold,
Thank you for having
windy
us.
Austin
Yes,
day and being a part of this.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.